bloody thumbprint. So hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Very different video is happening here today. I know, I'm in a Halloween setting and I'm not doing Halloween content. That's kind of crazy. But no, we're doing music content today because I felt like it. So yeah, I've been wanting to do, like musical review content or like a vinyl collection, which is coming soon. Gonna show off my vinyl collection soon, because I'm a big music guy, if you don't know. And I recently discovered this album, Generations by Will Butler. Get into that in a quick second. And I just wanted to do a quick little, it's not going to be quick, but a review of said album. Definitely want to do more music content in the future. I'm going to be having a completely different set for that, probably in my bedroom. There's a lot of construction going on. It's a mess. But eventually I'll be moving into a space specifically for music, which, like I said, will probably be my bedroom. This will stay here for Halloween, and then we'll have a little designated space for musical content for those of you who like music. So yeah, today we are talking about, like I've said about 17 times already, Generations by Will Butler. Will Butler is a musical genius, in my opinion. Most known for his role in the band Arcade Fire. He is the brother of lead singer Win Butler. I've been a big Arcade Fire fan personally for a couple years now. And this album caught my eye when I was going through the Arcade Fire subreddit, actually, funny enough. Someone had posted a little thing about the last song on said album, which is called Fine. We'll get to that towards the end of the video. And I thought I'd check it out, so I did, and I fell in love with the album and decided to buy it. So basically, I'm going to break this video down into a couple different parts. We'll start with just an overview of the actual physical copy, the vinyl copy of the album. This is the special edition clear and red splatter vinyl pressing. So we'll do that first, and then we'll get into a song-by-song breakdown of the album and my thoughts on each song. There will be timestamps in the description so you can skip to whatever part you want, and without further ado, let's get started.
Had enough of bad news. Had enough of your generation.
What was that? What did I just do there? Also, you'll notice in the video there's going to be a lot of overhead shots of my record player playing this record. All of the song audio and snippets of the album that you're going to hear throughout this video are from this vinyl record. They were ripped right off of the record through recording and digitizing the record through my record player. So I thought that would just be a little added fun bonus thing, so just wanted to throw that out there. So, Generations. This is, I believe, the second studio album by Will Butler, sorry. Almost got him confused with the brother there for a second. I will correct myself on screen if I'm totally wrong, which there's a good chance. This is, like I said, the limited edition, special edition pressing of the vinyl. This album just came out last year in 2020, towards the end of 2020, and I'm sad that I'm just finding out about it now because it's an amazing record. Not a gatefold or anything, just a slipcase here. Got lyrics on the back, and this beautiful cover on the front. You'll see it actually glistens in the light. The thumbprint itself is totally glossy, and it's just a really smooth design. Taking out the contents, you'll see some things fall out. We got the actual record and sleeve there. We have this awesome thing, which I have yet to frame, which is a little Generations poster. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. Yeah. We have the... I can't pick it up. We have the Merge Records sticker, because this is a Merge Records record. So they give you a little sticker, which is cool. And then I'm not even going to bother picking it up because I can't, a download card for Generations. And this last piece of paper is just my receipt. You don't need to see that. So yeah, that's it contents-wise. Let's look at the actual record itself. So it comes in this beautiful printed sleeve here. It's really heavy-duty cardstock, and it's glossy on the inside, which I think is really nice. It's going to protect this record really well. Got some really old photographs. I'd love to know the history behind these photographs. I'm sure they have some significance. And we have some liner notes on the side here. Getting into the record itself, just look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. This is a translucent, kind of pretty much clear vinyl record with a red blood splatter-like texture throughout. I just really love this design. It's not 180 gram vinyl. I'm not sure what it is, but it's pretty light. But I don't even care because the design is just absolutely gorgeous. Very simplistic label design, which I think fits the album very well. And yeah, it's just a beautiful record overall. All right, let's package this up. Just gonna slide this in here, and let's get into the actual album itself. I'm going to go break down this album track by track, tell you what I like, what I don't like. Spoiler warning, I pretty much like it all. So the album starts out with a track called Outta Here.
I'm getting out of here. Gonna walk right through that door.
This song is a pretty stripped down track. There's not a lot of crazy instrumentation. If you're looking for crazy instrumentation that you would expect on like an Arcade Fire album, you're not really going to find it on this album, which I think is really good. It's kind of a break from all that crazy ambient stuff. So this is more of a stripped down record, in my opinion. Especially with this first track, Outta Here. It starts with this very interesting kind of synth tone that kind of just builds up and turns into a little bit of a beat, which I think is a really cool way to start the record. And this synth thing becomes a beginning and end to the album, you'll see when we get later on in the review. So as the synth builds, we start getting Will's vocals coming in, we start getting a taste of kind of what he's going to offer on this album, and honestly, I just love the way this song builds up. I think it's really cool that it builds instrument on instrument, just sound on sound, and then cuts out, and then brings in drums, and you get into kind of the meat of the song. Again, it's a very simple song, pretty stripped down, but it's just kind of a nice way to just get yourself into the groove of the record, no pun intended. Now, Outta Here fades right into Bethlehem. I believe it is the only two songs on the album that fade into each other, but it's a beautiful transition. You got this amazing transition where the left side cuts out, and then the right slowly builds up, and then they both come back together, the two channels come back together. It's this really cool transition to get into the song. Now, if you're looking for a rocky song, Bethlehem is the song for you. If you're looking for a rocky album, this album might not be the best for you, because Bethlehem is pretty much the only, like, driving heavy rock song on the album. But I think that's all it needs. It's not really technically the vibe of this album, as you'll see, and Bethlehem isn't out of place, it's just different than the rest of the songs. It still has that very strong Will Butler vocals and those very strong instrumentations that aren't too overwhelming, but it's also just a really great driving rock track. Personally, I think Bethlehem might be my favorite song on the album. It's just really nice to just kind of bang your head to, and it's got great lyrics, it's got amazing flow in the vocals, as you'll see if you listen to it, which, please, I beg you, if you're going to listen to any song on this album, please listen to Bethlehem. It also has very strangely religious lyrics, which, I mean, I don't mind them. I don't know really what he's getting at in this song specifically, especially watching the music video. That tells me nothing, because that is weird religious imagery with baskets on face. I don't know, but it's awesome. Then we get into the third track on the album, which is called Close My Eyes.
Close my eyes, close my eyes, close my eyes, and it's almost dark.
Now, this is definitely one of the prettier tracks on the album. This is just a really, really nice vibe track. It's got this very slow flow, but a very nice swing to it, like it just makes you want to kind of just jive along. It's a really nice track. Will's vocals are not too overpowering, they're very nice and subtle along with the rest of the song. Still keeps that kind of synthy feel to it, but with really nice keys and backing vocals, and it's just like a really nice track overall. I really like this one. Speeding along into I Don't Know What I Don't Know. This is when we start to get into the weirder part of Generations. It's not like crazy out there stuff, not odd time signature or anything like that. It's just a weird vibe. It kind of leaves you a little uneasy when it comes to the vocals. There's pitch-shifted vocals. I really don't mind it, too. It sounds like a weird combination, but I promise you, it really pays off in this. Again, keeps very strong vocals, but very faint vocals at the low parts and stronger vocals at the higher parts. It wraps all really nice in a nice little package with I Don't Know What I Don't Know. Also, the repetitive vocals really kind of adds to the whole, you know, earworm feel of the song, but keeps you on edge the whole time because of those pitch-shifted vocals. And the complete flip side of that, number 5, we got Surrender.
Remember, I don't know, you told me, maybe so.
Surrender is kind of the vibe that I get from looking at old photos and looking at the cover of this album. It is this very folksy, jivey, swingy song. Honestly, not the type of music I would listen to, but I think he pulls it off immensely great. That's not a phrase. Backing vocals of I don't know and maybe so, just really, I don't know, it's really fun. It's a very fun song. And I really enjoy this track. I don't know, there's not much to say about it. It's just a fun, very upbeat, very happy track. Surrender.
You can hide it away for so long. You can.
Then we go into Hide It Away, which is track number 6, and it kind of brings back those vibes that we heard on I Don't Know What I Don't Know. It leads off with this great guitar riff that I really like, and comes in with these very faint but still piercing vocals, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these really strong synth noises that go da-da-da-da and kind of like shake the listener, which is really cool. I think it's a really nice added thing. Again, just kind of a jive track, just kind of a nice groove track, and that riff just continues through and is really nice and it just feels good. Now, Hard Times.
Hard times, these are hard times.
Hard Times, I think, is the only track on this album that I have a teensy bit of trouble vibing with. I don't dislike the song, it's just, it's hard for me to get in that Hard Times mood. Hard Times reminds me most of like a Gorillaz track, kind of. Like, it's got these weird pitch-shifted vocals all over the place, and the left and the right and the left and the right, all these crazy like vocal things and little, you know, hard times, it's very strange. Again, I don't hate it, I just have a little bit of trouble vibing with this song. But you may love it. If you like Gorillaz, you'll probably love this song. And I love Gorillaz too. But it's just a teensy bit more out there in a weird direction. So just, you know, keep that in mind before judging this song. Now, Promised is the 8th track on the album.
But you promised me that you wouldn't run and hide.
It starts with this really pretty kind of intro and then just smacks you over the head with a drum hit and guitar hit, and it's really cool. I honestly this song has probably grown on me more than anything on this album. I'm really getting to love this song. It's just cool. It's just a cool instrumentation, and the ending, towards the end, I won't spoil too much, but it has this little thing where like the drums fade out and you think the song's fading out, and then it tricks you and it comes right back, which definitely is not something new, but it's just something cool to see. And then we get to the last 2 songs, and this is kind of where I think the whole generations theme starts to really tie in. Definitely stuff like Surrender throws it back to different generations, but I think these last 2 songs really tie up that generations with a nice pretty bow. So track number 9, Not Gonna Die. This song really surprised me. It starts with just, not gonna die. It starts with that, and then these vocals come in, and it's very slow, but then all of a sudden you get this almost synthy bass kick that starts beating up, and it's like, it slowly fades in. You're like, whoa, where the hell did that come from? And then all of a sudden the drums come in, and it starts building and building, and it eventually cliffs off and goes into this nice semi-rock song, and I really like the sound of this song. Now, the reason I said that it kind of has that generations feel is because we get this like piano riff that comes in. You hear this piano and the keys and all that sort of stuff, and that really ties in to Fine, the last song in the album.
George Washington and all his friends, they were dying in the snow, they were praying for the end.
Now, Fine I talked about in the intro. Fine is close to Bethlehem in being my favorite song, and it is the complete opposite of Bethlehem when it comes to music, which is something I really like about this album. There is so much diversity in the songs and so many genres, so many things happening. Yeah, it's the longest song on the album, coming in at almost 7 minutes long, and I wish it was longer, and I'm gonna explain why. This song starts out with this synthy thing that we heard right at the beginning. I told you that'd come back, so it's again that kind of synthy sound that started the album off. It starts off with this really cool piano riff, and Will comes in right away, and the first words are George Washington. Now, at first that kind of threw me off. I'm like, okay, we're getting a story of America sort of thing happening here, and that's what it kind of starts with some little humor thrown in as a...
Henry explained, George, sometimes you can be kind of a dick.
Yeah, I thought that was a funny line. Basically, he goes through this telling of, like, George Washington and, you know, American history, kind of. And then all of a sudden, he gives us a punch in the head, where he says this line.
When George, he turned to camera 3.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, he pulls us out of this whole American history world and makes it seem like it's kind of like a set in a movie, and that already got my interest. And then we go into this thing where he starts comparing George Washington and the not ancient, but old generations of America to his own life. We get this kind of, you know, jivey bar tune almost like thing that then turns into this interlude. Where we get this interlude, it drops off and it's just piano. And for like 3 minutes, it's just piano and Will kind of sing-talking over it. So yeah, this interlude I think might be my favorite part. It's just kind of Will reflecting on his life and the generations that came before him, which is where that whole generations theme ties in. We finally get things that, without just saying the word generations, are like actually tying into him reflecting on previous things and comparing it to his current life, and it's a beautiful little, almost ballad of piano and Will. Then he has a marvelous segue that I'm not going to give up. It's a vocal segue that I really like that goes back into, at the end of the song, the chorus of Fine, gives this really nice send-off, and then it fades out, and we get the synth sound that started the album out, but instead of going from a high note to a low note, it goes from a low note to a high note, which is really cool. It's a beautiful way to put an end cap on this record, and that's where I'm going to put an end cap on this review. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. I really enjoyed myself talking about music. I didn't even realize how much I like talking about music, but here we are. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing more content like this, more music-oriented content, because I know not all of you are into all this crazy Halloween stuff that I do over here, and I want to spice up my content a little bit. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. I guess I should rate the album. Well, first let me say my favorite tracks. I'm just looking over here at the song listing because I don't have the song listing memorized, but my favorite tracks, if I had to pick, would be definitely Bethlehem, definitely Fine, definitely Not Gonna Die, and Promise too. I think Promise is really growing on me. Those 4. Least favorite, if I had to pick, again, it would be Hard Times, but again, I don't hate that song. It's just not something I personally vibe with totally. So yeah, overall, honestly, I think alright, I don't even have a rating scale. I'm not gonna Anthony Fantano this. I'm just gonna say 9 Wills out of 10 Butlers. So yeah, buy the record while you still can. Listen to the record. Well, you will forever, so just, will. Just listen to the music. Just listen to it. It's great. It's a great record. I'm gonna shut up now. This video is probably 30 minutes long. Goodbye!